Let's go to Adam in Syracuse, New York. Adam, what's going on?
Oh, not much, Dr. D. Just getting back from work. Calling because I was wondering how to get my wife on board with everything that Dave says. I've been doing the program since late January, and I got about $40,000 in debt, not including her vehicle. With her vehicle, it'd be about 55. And I just want to change my family tree and be able to purchase our first home by next year.
Oh, man, well, I appreciate your heart, dude, and congratulations on turning this first corner here. Rachel, you've heard this question for years and years talking with couples.
Yeah. So, Adam, what's her biggest hesitation? What causes her not to want to get on board?
Well, she works full-time as a nurse at the VA, and she's also going to school for her RN. And I think she's really focused on that, which I'm super proud of her for. But I really don't know her hesitation. When I first mentioned Dave to her, she got online and read some negative reviews. And I'm like,
those are out there for all of us.
Yeah. I'm like, believe what you want to believe. I go, this guy is making absolute sense to me, and I'm with it. It's just hard to do it by yourself.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost impossible to do it by yourself if two of you are not on the same page. Okay, so it doesn't sound like she is, because I talked to some people and the spouse is like, oh, I don't want to budget because I just want to have fun and not be accountable. Or some people say, I just want to continue to do what I do because I deserve it. Like there's kind of some entitlement issues that I hear a lot, but I don't hear that from her. I just hear that she's skeptical of the process. So,
right. I mean, she's the saver and I'm the spender, and I limit myself on everything now. So
go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask. I mean, I wonder if it just sounds like a really big thing to bite off for her because she has all these other things she's doing and she's thinking, oh, this thing is going to take over. But what you both have to understand is that yes, when we say work as a married couple, you definitely work together, but one of you naturally is probably going to do more and be more excited than the other. Like Winston. He's the nerd in our relationship. Like he's the one that honestly does the Excel. We do every dollar for our monthly, but he has an Excel thing to map out the future. And he always wants to talk. He'll want to talk about it. I'm the one that's like, kind of want to watch The Bachelor. Like I don't that doesn't mean I'm not on board, but I'm not as excited as he is. Or he's the one that pays all of our bills. He does it all, even though I know what's being paid and we're on the same page. So for her, you just need her to. You guys come together and agree, hey, we want to start this process. But the heavy lifting of the tactical day-to-day can honestly come from you, Adam, and that's okay from our perspective.
Adam, how'd you bring it up to her?
We were laying in bed one night talking. And
yeah, that's your problem right there.
Stop, are you serious? I was like,
okay, so
it's great.
You're laying in bed, you roll over, and you flutter your eyelashes at her, and she flutters her eyelashes back at you, and you say, baby, have I got a deal for you? Is that how that went?
Yeah, kind of.
Come on, man. You got to be more smooth than that. How long have you been married?
11.
11 years?
We've been together, 11 years.
Oh, Adam. Man. Okay, so a couple things that you said that I want to make sure. Are you a schemer? Have you always had some things? Are you the guy who brings good ideas? She's a saver. She's a nurse. She's working in hospital. Like
she's predictable. Are you predictable?
It happen. Yeah. Are you the guy with like, hey, listen?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think I am.
So when you first called, you talked about her car payment, your debt, and so what I would tell you is you guys have a pronoun problem, and what I mean is, if you have a you and a her in a marriage. And then the you is coming to the I'm sorry, you're not married. Y'all are just together. Okay. Y'all been together for 11 years?
We have 2 children together, and we've been together for 11 years.
Okay. So if you haven't committed, right, if y'all are just riding this out together in a committed relationship.
Why aren't y'all married? Can I ask?
Yeah, you can ask.
I think she's afraid of commitment.
Is she afraid of? She's with you for a decade,
11
brother.
years.
Sounds like she's afraid of you.
That could be. That very well could be.
Adam, you know the truth. Is that real? Is that real?
Honestly, I don't know, but you're probably right on the money.
So here's what I would suggest, brother. I would suggest sitting down with her and talking about what's the future going to look like. When you have 2 kids, when you're not married, when you've been together for a decade, suddenly the days turn into weeks and the weeks turn into months, and suddenly you've been together 3 years and 5 years, and we'll think about this later, and suddenly the future starts to happen in front of you. And that's when one of you peels off to go back to school to start trying to create their own future, because we're clearly not on the same page. I've got mine, you've got yours. I'm going to go make some more money for me so I can get a different car for me. And suddenly you're going to wake up and you're both going to be sitting on a couch and you're going to be 2 inches apart from each other. You're going to be 2,000 miles away from one another. And coming in with something like this program, which is we've got to work super close together, not close together. We have to be one on this deal because it's hard and it is back and forth and months on top of months. And suddenly you wake up and you're a united couple and you're 2 or 3 years down the road and you have this entire new trajectory. So when you talk about wanting to change your family tree, right now you got 2 plants in the same house. So at first you got to do is you got to decide we're going to have one tree. We're going to do this one thing together. Mm-hmm. And we're going to raise these kids in a certain way. We're going to build a future together. And a part of building that future together, Rachel, is we're going to do money together, right? So your heart is right, Adam. Your spirit is right. Your ideas are right, but they're just out of order right now. And the first thing you got to do is to circle back to this extraordinary woman you've created a life with for the last decade plus and say, hey, let's make this a unified thing moving forward, right?
For sure. And the richness that comes from that. So not just the commitment to say we're going to get married, not just the commitment that we're going to work together with our money, not just the commitment that we're going to do parenting together well, like that whole life that you're bringing together. It's almost like all these separate puzzle pieces and you start to bring it together and it is a beautiful thing. While I feel like people dog marriage.
It's stable, right?
Yes, there's something about it that the richness of your life, it increases because there's a level of vulnerability and unity that you've never experienced before to say, hey, we're going to be in this together. And it's something that I feel like is it enhances your life.
And there's something about being tethered in, being anchored in, not even tethered,
knowing
being
that
anchored in. Yeah. And I'm going to fall off this mountain sometimes, but I'm not going to die. Right? I may bang up the side of it, but I'm anchored into something, right?
Yeah.
And somebody may shove me off. She may shove me off, but we are anchored in here, right? And it's circling back to we got to be on the same page, working together. How hard is it? So you guys, how long have y'all been married?
11.
11 years,
11
okay.
Years.
There's a myth that all of a sudden you wake up one day and you figured it out. And there's no more discussions, no more eye rolls, no more whatever when it comes to budgets.
Right.
That's not true, right?
No. I mean, I think the logistical side of the budget goes pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Like the budget meeting, quote unquote, like we'll talk when we do it. And it sounds like, oh, of course she does. But we really, really do.
Yeah. Before
the month begins, we sit down, we're like, hey, let's look at March. Okay, well, we're going to the beach this week on spring break. We're going to do this and this. And you start kind of mapping out. And so all of that takes 8 to 10 minutes. Like we do that fast. But it's the other parts of being known by each other in a deep way, because money it reveals a lot of who you are. And so working that closely with your spouse, it can create some moments where you're like, oh, I mean, I'll be honest, like I love Amazon right now. I know people hate Amazon, but I'm like, I can't stop. And it's under his, like he created the account years ago whenever we got Prime. And so we obviously just share the account, but I know every time I buy something, he gets a notification. I'm always like, even though it's in the budget and I know it, I'm the spender and he's the saver. So even those things, and I'm like, hey, just heads up, I'm getting a new pan because our nonstick is
we really need
out.
in the house. And we need a new pan.
But it just creates the conversation.
That's right.
Which is what I love. So
for those of you out there who are 3 years in, 5 years in, it does get easier, it gets more routine, but it always brings you back to a conversation.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
We had one at Tractor Supply this weekend, me and my wife.
We'll hear about that coming up next.
We won't. This is the Ramsey Show.